What's going on, guys? This is Yasin, and today I wanted to make a discussion video on the new Fallen, the Virtuous Quick Play spell card. Super interesting card. I think this could end up being the next staple that everybody plays, not just the Despia deck, because it is super generic. As long as you got like a couple of extra deck cards to send off of the first effect, you are good to go. And I'm gonna say this right now, the main two decks that are utilizing this card right now are Dragon Tail, as well as, well, obviously Despia, but also Sky Striker, because, you know, this is a spell card, and it just has so much flexibility. Again, as long as your extra deck space is not too tight, this card honestly should be considered in every single board breaker deck. It really is that good. And some people are even playing this over hand traps just because it gets you a lot of value. And if you're playing Branded Fusion, again, even if you're not playing Despia, this card gets even better because you're hurting your opponent while helping yourself out in the process. Couldn't get any better, right? But yeah, before we go any further, as always, smash the like and subscribe button. And also, we're going to be reading this card before we explain just how good it really is. So it's always treated as a branded and dogmatica card, meaning it is very easy to search off of Aluber as well as Dogmatica Ecclesia and obviously other cards. So activate one of these effects. So either you send a monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz from your extra deck to the grave to target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. It can destroy literally any face-up card, even your own, which is very relevant, by the way. Or if you have an Ecclesia monster in your field or grave, you can target a monster in either graveyard and special summon it to your field. So there are two Ecclesia monsters in the game right now. Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous, which is the Sword Soul Ecclesia, as well as Dogmatic Ecclesia the Virtuous, which is really just, played in either Dogmatica or decks that can play the Dogmatica engine with Nadir Servant and this with potentially Maximus, Fleur de Lys, etc. So the second effect honestly doesn't come up too often, really just in its own deck or certain niche decks, but the first effect is the effect that we're really looking at. And also this card, you can only activate one copy of this card's name once per turn. So if the activation gets negated, you can try again. And also you're dumping a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard as a cost to use this. So if the activation gets negated, you can just try again and then send another monster, and you're destroying your opponent even more. So there is an incentive to, not negate this with your Omni Negate if you can, because then if your opponent has a second copy, you can send it something else and then get even more end phase advantage, or sometimes more advantage right away on this very turn. Especially when we're going to be getting these two cards right here. They're going to be changing a lot, and they're going to make this card really, really, really good. So that's the reason why I said this card just keeps getting better over time. Alright, so obviously on top of being searchable by both of these cards, also searchable by Spriggan's Kit, and it's recyclable off of Desperate Tragedy because, again, it is a branded spell and trap as well. And you can also recycle it back with Branded Retribution. And also, when we're going to be getting the new Fallen of the White Dragon, you're going to be seeing this card a little more because this is maybe going to be a very good engine in Sword Soul. And Sword Soul, I can definitely see playing 3 copies of this in the main deck because of their incredible Ecclesia. So if people can utilize the Fallen of the White Dragon to special summon itself, and then special summon the incredible Ecclesia, and then make some synchro plays, and also get the effect where you can revive back anything, honestly that looks a little broken. So I can definitely see this being very good as soon as we get Fallen of the White Dragon, as well as the two cards, even these two synchro, this synchro and this succeeds, even though again this card is already very good right now. So in the Dragon Tail deck, this card is being played pretty much as a 3-of by almost everyone that I've seen so far, which really just goes to show how powerful it really is. It's a very convenient out to Herald of the Arclight because the continuous effect of this card is a huge pain for the deck, because any monster sent from the hand or main deck to the grave is banished instead. And before, you kind of had to rely on Kaijus and Fenrir and Pancratops in order to out it. Wasn't super ideal, but the Fallen the Virtuous is honestly just a better card because it's at least always live going first, and there is no annoying requirement for it. You're actually plussing, and also you're sending Albion from your extra deck to the grave, and during the end phase you're setting Branded Fusion, and you're playing Branded Fusion in Dragon Tail anyway, so honestly it's just a win-win. So now people are playing less Kaijus, less of those Fenrirs, less of those, board breaker monsters, no Pancratops at all either, and they're just playing 3 Fallen the Virtuous, so Herald of the Arclight has a it's going to be much less convenient for you to out, and also it's just an out to literally anything, so you can out Secretary on Dragon, you can out Anti-Spell, and on your own turn, if you get hit by, a K9 trying to Xyz summon on your turn, you can just destroy the Lupus. So literally any monster that is summoned turn 0, it's not going to be the end of the world against you. And if your opponent tries to you can actually do this against your opponent. You can use the Fallen of the Virtuous to send an extra deck monster that summons Fallen of Albaz during the end phase, such as Titanic Lad. And then on the end phase, you can summon Fallen of Albaz and then fuse for Mirror Jade or something. So you can break your opponent's board even more. It's not just like you're destroying a face-up card and that's it. Like, the end phase advantage really does matter. But also the fact that you can destroy your own cards with the Fallen the Virtuous is absolutely massive. If you go, let's say, normal summon Lucius effect or summon Altharion or whatever, and then you get hit by Veiler or Imperm, then you can just chain, destroy your own monster, and you're not really negging because the Altharion doesn't really do anything on the field anyways. Like, you're really just trying to make sure that it recycles back as many monsters from the grave as possible to the hand. So this is a clean +1 for you because you're going to be sending Albion to like reset another Fallen the Virtuous. So you basically lost absolutely nothing, but your opponent lost a very powerful card. So in this context, honestly, it's even better than than Book of Mooning your own monster. Since again, Arthalion, whether it's in the field or in the grave, it doesn't matter. Like, it has no real on-field effect. Like, you really just want to make sure that its trigger effect when summoned resolves. And you can do the same with Lucius. It's just that Lucius actually is a body. It does matter because it has a graveyard effect when it's fused. And also, like, it can be material for Heretic Seal, so just keep that in mind. But this card, of course, it's not just good against monsters, it's also good against trap cards. You can destroy your own spell cards that are being targeted by Dragontail Flame to make them resolve. And honestly, this is absolutely crucial in the Dragontail Mirror match. This card will give you such an edge. There is no way I can consider not playing 3 copies of this in Dragontail, because this is how you win the mirror match usually. Like, this is the better card. With the Fallen Virtuous, you're not even allowing your opponent to like negate your cards. I believe if you can't negate, you also are not allowed to place back a Dragontail card, meaning you're not allowed to draw a card. Not 100% sure, but it's a then effect. And if people still play the Apophis deck, the Fallen Virtuous can be good. Now for the extra deck monsters, this is the fun part of the video. We're going to be going over pretty much all of them and try to figure out which ones should you play with the Fallen Virtuous. One of them is absolutely mandatory. It's Albion the Branded Dragon. So during the end phase, if it's in the grave because it was sent there this turn, you can either at your hand or set a branded spell and trap directly from your deck. So obviously the goal is the first usage of the Fallen the Virtuous is always going to be sending Albion so that you can set another copy of the Fallen the Virtuous. And then after that, it depends on what you play. Some people will be sending the Rinbrum if they already have Fallen of Albaz in the grave. If you, let's say, didn't shuffle back your Fallen of Albaz because you made like a Albion instead of Lubellion, in which case you would need like a bigger extra deck, but it can still work. In that situation, Rinbrum, the graveyard effect, is really good because on the opponent's turn, you can target it and Fallen of Albaz, and then you special summon either one, and then you banish the other. So you can banish the Rinbrum to summon back the Fallen of Albaz that you fused away from the deck, you know, summon it back and then fuse with an opponent's monster. So it's kind of like a super poly. And then you're making Mirror Jade, and then Mirror Jade can banish a card again. So the fact that you're getting so many interruptions off of one single Fallen of Virtuous, if you have Fallen of Albaz in the grave, that's pretty scary. So Rinbrum is very, very, very good in the Dragontail deck, and you absolutely should be playing it. The Dragon that Devours the Dogma, more of like a mix of this and this. So it's not like super ideal. During the end phase, all it does is that it searches a Dogmatic or Tri Brigade card from your deck to your hand. It's not the best, so you're not going to be playing that one. Brigand, the Glory Dragon. That one, it either adds or special summons a Tri Brigade monster or Fallen of Albaz from your deck, so it doesn't really matter too much. Titanic Lad can special summon at your hand again, or special summon a Dogmatica monster or Fallen of Albaz from your deck. I mean, if you can't summon it, it does matter, but you can summon Fallen of Albaz again, just like this one. So again, not a big difference. This one, same thing, but instead of being a Dogmatica, it's a Spriggans monster. Pretty much like the same concept. And this one, instead of being, you know, a Spriggans or a Dogmatica or a Tri Brigade, it's going to be a Despia monster. So if you play like one Aluber with 3 branded opening, it could be worth considering if you no longer have Fallen of Albaz in your deck. And then we also have Alba Lunatis, the Abyss Dragon. If you play Fallen of Albaz, there is like an incentive to playing one copy of this in your extra deck, just so that you can, let's say, going second against Dragontail, you can set it and then contact fuse with a bunch of dragons. It is a really cool card, and it's going to be able to attack a lot of times. And during the end phase, it's also going to be able to search either a Polymerization or a Fusion normal spell card from your deck to your hand. And you do play Branded Fusion, so there's that. So in Dragontail, I would play these 3 cards without a shadow of a doubt. These 2 cards, when they're going to come out, they're going to make the engine just so much better. So Ecclesia of the Black Dragon, the graveyard effect is really cool because this is the second monster that you're going to be sending with the Fallen the Virtuous. One copy of this card gets you multiple in rotation, especially if you play 2 Albions. Then if you just draw one Fallen Virtuous, every single turn you get to redo it again and again and again because you just keep plussing with the graveyard effect. But yeah, this card, if it's in the grave, you can target a level 8 fusion monster either in your grave or banished, as well as this card and another card on the field, and you shuffle all of them into the deck. So triple shuffle. You shuffle this with the Albion so you can keep looping it again. So as long as you can, if you can shuffle back the Fallen Virtuous, you basically have an infinite loop of every single turn you get to destroy your opponent's cards and shuffle back cards. It's honestly really crazy. So if there was like a Daigusto Emerald for quick play spells, that would be really broken. Maybe the Radiant Typhoon deck can do it. I mean, yeah, again, the fact that it's a quick play spell obviously makes it really good in Sky Striker because it can also be discard fodder for the Radiant Typhoon that draws 2 discard 1. And finally, this Xyz monster, the Gung Ho Spriggans. That one, whenever it's sent to the graveyard, or obviously Xyz summon, but we don't talk about that, you can special summon a Spriggans Captain Sargas from deck or grave, and it's this monster right here. Doesn't have the best on-field effect. It can be a very good interruption if you have the other Sargas, the gigantic champion Sargas. This card is really nasty because if an Xyz monster is detached from like one of your monsters, you can target a card on the field and either destroy it or return it to the hand. You can bounce back your own field spells and then use them again and stuff like that. It's a really cool card. But yeah, with Sargas, you basically just have like a free level 8 body on the field. Fallen the Virtuous can also be like an extender. On top of being a board breaker, you know, you destroy an opponent's card, and then you go effect of Gung Ho Spriggans, summon Sargas, and then you summon any other level 8, and then you can make a rank 8. It can be Dragluxion, and then you can search 7 Tachyon, and then bridge into your engine. It's really nice, honestly. Definitely do recommend considering the Fallen and the Virtuous in way more than just the decks that I mentioned. This can be like the next super splashable tech card. It's really that good, especially again when we're going to be getting these 2 cards. You guys let me know how you feel about this package in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.